Hey buddy, thanks for the few holes. Obviously, always tough to learn out there. Yeah, so since last week, a few weeks ago now, we've just gone back a little bit so we can see how open those shoulders are. And that's why we're starting to spray that driver again. Okay, that's wide open. That's also why that ball's teed up so high and so far in front of your left foot. So we want to kind of neutralize that a little bit. We tried it a bit with the 3-wood and then the drive on 6, and then you were going underneath it because you've been teeing it too high and kind of lunging at it a little bit. Okay, so let's just try and neutralize that a little bit. From there, I mean, obviously the swing plane's going to be slightly out with that setup, but let's just check the club face. Okay, so, under the plane, but that's not really a true plane where you're setting up, so setting a little higher, which is good. From there, from there, the arms are following the chest very nicely, so that's very good. Probably why you struck it well. Obviously, we still got a little bit of work to do with the open club face. Okay, so the pivot looks good, so it's a lot more to do now with the setup, the ball position, and club face. Alright, so we can see here the setup much better, okay, after I moved you, especially the ball position. Okay, I'm sure you can tell from this angle. Alright, shoulder's still a little bit open. It's probably why this one's still faded a little bit. Okay, but this was after I moved you. Okay, obviously we're trying to get that as square as possible. Alright, and then with a 3-wood, okay, we can then tee that down just a little bit lower. Just half an inch lower will be fine. Okay, and then from there, all of a sudden the takeaway is much straighter because we're aiming straighter. Nice backswing. Drop it on line. And then the club face returns much better, doesn't it? Okay, and then following our body, so that's great. Right, so much better swing this one. So we can see how important that setup is. Hey matey, okay, thanks for the few holes. Not a full round, but obviously always good to get out there and always stuff to learn while we're out there. So obviously I haven't seen you for a few weeks, and I know maybe you haven't been playing as much, but kind of regressed back to that setup, especially with the longer clubs. A couple of the shorter clubs, the alignment was now a bit to the right as well, so it's got to kind of figure it out. Yeah? But let's start with the longer clubs because we're starting to spray that driver again. Okay, so that ball position's gone way, way, way out there. Okay, and then obviously to compensate, okay, the shoulders are very open, so we've got to get that thing a little more neutral. Shoulders a little bit more neutral. Okay, so not out in front of you, opening the shoulders, bring it back, square the shoulders. Still going to be behind the ball, but then obviously both 3-wood and driver is going to have to tee about half an inch lower because now you're not catching it so much on the upstroke. Okay, that's why you actually teed up too high, if I'm honest, but it's to compensate for that. Okay, and then from there all looks good, just 1 or 2, but I think the more and more you align straight, it's going to get better. But just 1 or 2 where that face was still a little bit open coming in. Obviously, we want them nice and square. Okay, what you are doing is you are following your body really, really well. Okay, so if you keep doing that, then all you have to do is figure out your ball flight. Where did the ball start? Or what was the flight? Okay, and that'll tell you whatever issue is in the setup. Okay, so just keep on with that. And then obviously a little bit of chipping. Okay, we got that again, ball position a little bit too far forward. Now we don't have any momentum when we're chipping to get forward. Okay, so you're staying there nicely, bouncing the club nicely, but it's just bouncing at 1.5, 2 inches too early. Okay, just bring the ball position back to middle and even slightly lean ahead of the ball so you feel like your low point is there. Okay, make that same action. Okay, and it all should all work out quite nicely. Alright,